Good morning, my friends, and happy Friday morning. I am really excited about today's project. Today, we are going to celebrate fall, this very beautiful season of changing leaves, with the Falling Leaves necklace, or should I say the Falling Leaves Lariat. And this is what it looks like. This is truly the nature's palette. So I created this necklace with these absolutely beautiful hand-carved stone leaves. And we are going to address quite a few points in this project. This is very multifaceted, not only in terms of how you can wear this piece, but also in terms of technique. So we will be talking about stones that are horizontally drilled and how to best use them. We are going to be talking about combining chain and leather, which is of course a very popular look whenever you combine metal and leather, gemstones. That makes it a very modern, fresh look. And specifically, we're going to talk about how to make a really good, smooth transition and connect the leather portion of the necklace to the chain and wrapped loops. So we have lots to cover, ladies and gentlemen.
Angela says good morning.
Good morning, Angela.
Katie S says good morning. Happy Friday.
Good morning, Katie. Happy Friday.
Angela says good morning.
Good morning.
Betty says good morning, you guys.
Hi, good morning, Betty.
Fonda says good morning, everyone. Happy Friday.
Good morning, Fonda, and happy Friday to you.
Kim C says good morning, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all.
Good morning, Kim. All right, guys. So, I do want to let you know that I have two different colorways. So, you are looking at my October Day or Sunny October Day colorway, and then I have a different colorway for you, whichever colorway is your favorite. I just want you to know that there are going to be so many differences in not only the patterns on the natural stone, but also the sizes, the shapes of the leaves. That's what really makes it special, because well, it is nature's design with a little help from human hands. But because it's natural stone, each leaf is going to be different. Because it's hand carved, each leaf is going to be different in shape, size, and so forth. But that's wonderful because all of us are going to have a truly unique necklace. Okay, so as we said, this is a lariat. So it can be worn in a number of different ways. And so I think maybe towards the end of the video, we'll do a little modeling. I'll show you how you can wear it. But in the meantime, why don't we get started? Because we have so much to cover.
Carmen says good morning, all.
Good morning, Carmen.
Ellen says hi, Irina and everyone.
Hi, Ellen. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Tina says good morning, Irina and Tony.
Good morning, Tina.
Julie says hello.
Hi, Julie. All right, so I'm going to move our lariat a little bit to the side so that we can get started on the new colorway. And the new colorway is called Late September.
Julie says this necklace is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Julie. You're so sweet. So I will point out that because everybody, lots of people, maybe not everyone, but lots of people have been asking me to create these kits in more than just silver. I have really been trying. So, and I do love working with copper. So my October my sunny day in October is in copper, and my next colorway is going to be in silver. All right, let's start, shall we? Okay, so we're working with 22 gauge wire in silver tone, and of course it's also 22 gauge wire in copper tone on this necklace. And the very first thing I'm going to do is, of course, put my wire through the horizontally drilled leaf, and I'm going to bend both ends up. So I have a short end and a long end. Here, let me just show you. I have like this whole little, maybe, I don't know, 12, 14 inches. So that is the segment of wire that I prefer to work with. It's more comfortable for me to work with a longer piece, and it's a bit more economical as well, because then you're not pre-cutting the wire. So first thing I'm doing is I'm forming a little V right here, or actually it's going to be an upside down V, like a little triangle. And I'm going to use my chain nose pliers to bend the long end of the wire up like this, and the short end of the wire is going to be perpendicular to the long end of the wire. So this is the ideal way to do it. And really, you guys, it's just like making a wrapped loop. In fact, it is making a wrapped loop. So all I'm doing is I'm holding onto my loop, as you can see. So this little triangle is a loop. I'm holding onto it with my chain nose pliers so that I can see the overlap, and I'm simply making a little double coil. So once we have made this double coil, I want to make sure I have 2 coils on the other side as well. And now I will use my chain nose pliers and snip the excess wire off as close as I can. And then of course we will tuck in the end. Always tuck in your ends. That's how you can tell a well-made jewelry from sloppy jewelry. Sometimes, you know, you go into a store that sells imported jewelry, and of course imported jewelry can be very beautiful, but sometimes you start noticing the lack of finishing, especially in the loops, and that's how you know that it's not really good quality piece. Okay, so now I'm going to string my bead on. This is, oh my gosh, I'm struggling to remember, what is this bead? It's Norina Jasper, that's it. It is Norina Jasper that we're using for this necklace. And Norina Jasper is very, very beautiful. It comes in so many different browns and yellows and oranges and grays. And the leaf, of course, is green aventurine. It's like a subtle green aventurine. It's almost kind of a neutral. And after all, green is nature's neutral, right?
Trudy says hello all.
Hi, Trudy.
And Elizabeth likes the project.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. All right, so now we're going to start another loop on the other side of our beautiful Norina Jasper bead. And I'm using my bail making pliers. This is the small bail making pliers. And I'm using the small side of it, although it's really, for this project, it's really preference. If you like the small, great. If you like the large side of the bail making pliers, that is fine too. So I have already pre-cut a little segment of chain. And so let me just point this out. The chain on the 2 pieces is going to be slightly different. So on the copper lariat, the chain is more like a Figaro, and And then on the silver lariat, it's like a, I don't even know, it's a long link. Maybe you could call it a drawn cable. It's textured, but one thing is similar. There's a little link between the bigger links on all of these chains. And I pre-cut mine so that it's 3 large links, 2 small links in between. But you can always really customize your piece by cutting the chain a little shorter. I don't think you want to cut it a little longer, because when you see how long this tassel is going to end up, and of course I'm referring to this part of the necklace as a tassel. This, can you see how long it is? It's well, actually, we don't even have to say probably. We can actually measure it. So here, let's stretch it out.
Rita says, hi everyone. Was watching yesterday's video. Was great as usual.
Oh, thank you so much, Rita. So, and I will show last night's project for anyone who missed it. So oh yes, wait, the tassel starts right about here. So it's just over 6 inches. And on the silver version, it's actually going to be just a touch longer. But in the meantime, if anyone missed last night's video, we made the Spirea Blooms bracelet. And this is what it looks like. So I have 2 different colorways of Spirea Blooms. And you can see it's kind of seasonal, kind of neutral colors. And if you're interested, you can always re-watch the video. We archive all of our videos.
Rita says, so pretty and beautiful.
Thank you so much, Rita. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we snuck our chain into the loop, and now is a really good time to wrap the loop. So I like to hold on to the loop like this with my chain nose pliers, and then just wrap my wire into the little space that I left between the bead and the loop. So now we will, of course, trim the wire, and you already know we're going to tuck in that little and. All right, so now we're going to, oh, you know what? I kind of goofed it up a little bit. This was actually, should we do a redo, or maybe we'll just continue? You know, I kind of didn't exactly intend this, but, okay, we will have an instant replay, guys. Because I want you to see what the actual finished piece looks like. So sorry about that. And it was such a nice little loop, wasn't it? Kind of sad, but you know what? It happens to everyone. I am still waking up, and I just realized I don't have any of the little cubies that I intended to put on this. So I'm going to ask Tony to go and get a handful of cubies from my desk. So it's cubies that I'm using. And so in the meantime, while he's getting them from my desk, I'm actually going to do a little show and tell. And I'll give you a little preview of what this is going to look like. So in the meantime, I have already made one of the tassels, and this is what it looks like. So this is the look we're going for. So as you can see, I have the cubies right here, and you can see those beautiful Irina Jasper 6mm rounds, and you can see the 2 side by side. So it's a slightly different look. If you like silver, obviously this is silver, and our October sunny day is copper. I will point out that The silver version uses slightly smaller leaves, so it's just a tiny bit more dainty. Okay, so Tony just came back with the cubies, and now we're going to do a second take, right?
Lori says, good morning. These leaves are beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori, and good morning.
Kim C says, both such gorgeous colorways.
Thank you so much, Kim. And sorry, you guys, I know you want to see what's next, but we're just going to do a little instant replay. But you know what? It's life, and we all make little mistakes, so we have to give ourselves a break. So here is our instant replay. I made that little V at the top of the leaf, and now I'm going to grab onto the V with my chain nose pliers and again wrap right at the top here. And once I have my 2 coils, I will snip off the excess wire, and we are nearly where we left off.
Ellen says, stunning piece.
Thank you so much, Ellen. All right, guys. So now, I almost did it again. We don't want to do that again. So I'm going to put a little cubie. You know, I'm a little bit obsessed with these little cubes. This is a 4mm cube. And on the copper piece, we're using like a little rondelle, flying saucer, whatever you want to call it. And so now I will bend my wire maybe 1 millimeter from the cube, leaving a little space, and make a loop. So again, I'm using my bail making pliers, which I love when I need to make consistent loops. And we will sneak in our pre-cut piece of chain in here. I love this chain. This is a textured chain, and that subtle texture, I really feel it adds something to every project. And speaking of chain, you know what? In last night's video, I actually forgot to mention last week when I made the gemstone drops necklace. Everybody, well, I don't know if it was everybody, but a few people asked me to list the Rollo chain. Do you remember the Rollo chain? This is what it looks like. So I just wanted to remember to let you know that we did list it in the Etsy shop. So speaking of favorite chains, that was one of the favorites.
Lori is wondering if the leaves are gemstones.
Yes, Lori, thank you for asking. Indeed, they are gemstones. So right now I'm working with the green aventurine, and here we have red jasper and peach aventurine. And in the copper version of the necklace, we have again peach aventurine, we have mahogany obsidian, and rhodonite. And those are just the leaves. Then we also have other gemstones in both of these lariats.
Lori says, I love the Rollo chain.
Thank you so much, Lori. Were you one of the people wanting the Rollo in the Etsy shop? I don't remember anymore who asked, but I do remember that quite a few people asked for it.
Kim C says, thank you for listing the chain.
Oh, my pleasure, Kim.
And she sends a chain emoji. I had no idea there was a chain emoji.
God, a chain emoji? I have never heard of such a thing. Good to know. So speaking of listing, you know, sometimes when you guys see me use something and you want it listed, it's always good to ask, because as much as I try, it's very difficult to read your mind, especially through the camera. So please don't be shy. Always let us know if you see something you want listed. Just let us know. So I just made another little loop connecting the loop to the chain. And now we're going to put that beautiful Norina jasper bead on the wire. And I don't know if you can see, this is beautifully faceted. And we are again going to make another loop. So as I make another loop, I am getting ready to connect this next little segment of chain. So let's make a loop and then we'll talk about this next segment of chain. Because as you probably noticed, in my necklace, in my lariat, the chain is staggered, or rather the leaves are staggered. Well, the way to make the leaves staggered is you cut the chain to different lengths. So in the copper version of the lariat, I have my shortest chain is cut to 3 large links. Sorry, let me backtrack. So the segment between the leaf and the first bead is going to be 3 large links, 2 small links on all of them. So it's the same exact thing. And then once we have attached, for the copper version, we have attached that ruby dyed jade. For our silver version, we're attaching the Norina jasper. So past the bead, we have our shortest set of links is 3 large, 2 small. Then our medium is going to be 6 large, 5 small links. And our longest segment is going to be 9 large links, 8 small links. And it's going to be the same for the silver version of the lariat. So since right now I am working on the shortest segment, I am using three chain links, as you can see. 3 large chain links, 2 small chain links. But if you want yours to be a little shorter, you can always change it.
Robin says hi from California.
Hello, Robin from California, and thank you for joining us. All right, so I have just completed my wrap, and I will now snip off any excess wire. So you know how we were just talking about the different length in our top piece of chain. So of course, through the magic of Facebook Live, I have already pre-made these 3 segments, and we're going to see exactly what they look like here. We'll do small, medium, large. All right, I think it's easiest to see if we line up the Norina jasper. And so you can see we have 3, 6, and 9 large links. Okay, so now we have made all these pieces and we're going to start connecting them. And you know what? Again, I apologize, you guys. I guess maybe I was. I will share. It's not an excuse, but I will share that we had a flood in the store, so we're all just a little bit crazy right now, and I'm blaming that on forgetting another bead. So I tell you what, while I go get my bead that actually goes right here, it's going to connect all the chain lengths, right? I will go grab that right now, and you can chat with Tony. Maybe he can show you my little bracelets that are coming up.
Sure. Well, first we'll start with earrings. So next Thursday, November 10th, let's get into the holiday spirit. We are going to be doing festive holiday earrings. So it's a set of 3 pairs of earrings, and we have Sorry, it's a little hard to do the camera and this at the same time. We have sparkling trees, sparkling Christmas trees. We have a cute snowman, and the mate to the snowman seems to be missing somewhere.
We have a missing snowman.
Yeah,
oh, no.
maybe it melted. I'm not sure.
Oh no, maybe he is.
With all this warm weather.
Maybe he's off on an adventure with his friend. What was the reindeer's name? So we have Olaf, and that's the snowman. And then the deer was, I don't know. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you let me know.
Lonnie says, I'm late again. Good morning.
Good morning, Lonnie.
Lindsay says, hi, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all. Lovely.
Oh, thank you so much, Lynn. All right, you guys. So you were talking about the snowman, and the other snowman is, I don't know, missing in action. Yes. But in the meantime, I just grabbed my bead. So this is what it looks like. And we are going to continue. So here's my piece of wire. And we're going to start making another wrapped loop. So there are a lot of wrapped loops in this necklace, as you can see, but I pre-made a lot of them, and this is going to be the segment that connects. So this is the segment we're making right here. So we have, on the copper version, we have a little flying saucer, then we have a larger bead, another little flying saucer, and then we connect to our pinch end, which is going to allow us to connect very gracefully to leather. All right, so let's get it going. So I actually decided to use the larger side of my bail making pliers for this one. And is there too much going on, you guys? Can you see what I'm doing? Is it okay? All right, so now I'm going to start gathering all my segments of chain and connecting the top links of each one to the wrapped loop that I am in the middle of making.
Rita says it's fine.
Oh, good. Thank you, Rita. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to the wrapped loop and just make a couple of little coils. And of course, snip the end off. And as we already established, we always want to tuck in all of our ends. And for this version, we are using a Q-beam.
Rita says the tassel will be great as an earring.
Oh, yes, Rita. Thank you so much. Although, you know, you have to, maybe if you do like earlobe workouts, you know, which I don't, but you have to have some pretty strong earlobes. Or I know there's like a little trick where you put some type of a pad on the back of your ear so that it's able to support more weight. I'm not sure. I think I knew this a long time ago, but this is going to be a little bit weighty since all of the beads, of course, are gemstone. But some people are definitely able to handle a little bit more weight on their ears. Sadly, I'm not one of those people. I am kind of a lightweight earring wearer.
Earlobe workouts is a real thing?
I don't know.
Oh,
I made it up.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. You guys tell me. Have you ever heard of earlobe workouts?
Rita says, yeah, the pad will help.
Yes, so you know what I'm talking about. Yes, so if somebody actually really wanted to wear this as an earring, it is really doable. Okay, so we're going to continue making our wrap loops. So it's like making a little tiny beaded chain, and you probably have made those before, or if you haven't, you will be making this if you get this kit. I love making beaded chains, my handmade chains. And I'm just going to slide this gorgeous bead onto my wire. So this is a fancy jasper bead, also known as Indian agate. It has, I think it has another name yet, but it's one of those stones that has lots of names, and it's very, very colorful. Here, let me just show you, just for a little contrast. You get just a beautiful range of color when it comes to this type of stone. So we're going to make the second hole on the other side. And you can just go ahead and finish the, did I say hole? I meant loop. So we're going to make another loop on the other side of the bead.
Kathy G is wondering what gauge wire you are using for the beaded chain.
Oh, thank you so much for asking, Kathy. I'm using 22 gauge wire. And in my world, whenever you make a beaded chain, you always use half hard.
And Lori is wondering, are the leaves still available?
Yes, Lori, the leaves are definitely still available. We are a little hesitant to put the leaves in the Etsy shop, even though we have quite a few. But I don't know that we will be putting the leaves in.
There's
the
a lot of
Etsy shop.
variation within the stones.
Exactly. There's so many variations. And when we create these kits, we try to be somewhat consistent, even though I gave you my disclaimer, which is also actually, it's not just a disclaimer, I think it's a very exciting thing that all the leaves are absolutely beautiful. But we try to make it somewhat close to what you see me make. But of course, if you come into the store, if you live close enough where you can just come in and pick out your own, that would be ideal. But if you cannot come in, contact Kathy in mail order. We have our wonderful Kathy. Oh, but she's not here today.
She'll be back Monday.
She will be back Monday. But for today, Tony's Kathy. And so you can always contact Tony, and we will add some leaves to your order. We can do that. So I am making my very last loop, which means I'm kind of reminding myself that I need to connect to something. So remember, loops are not just a thing of its own, but it's a means to connect. So maybe I'll make this a little closer to a 90-degree angle, because I'm always telling you guys, please make your wire so that it's at a 90-degree angle as you make your loops.
Lori says she's in Illinois.
You're in Illinois. Well, come on down. Come see us. Pick out some leaves.
Patty says, I have some large earring backs for heavier earrings. That being said, I try not to wear anything too heavy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm that way too. I'm a pretty light earring wearer. But I know that some people like larger, heavier earrings, and you know, that's great. Okay, guys. So, I mean, I do enjoy long earrings. Here's an earring I have on right now. This is kind of like my weight, my style, my speed of earrings, right? So now we are going to be connecting this little component. This is a pinch bail, and I know if you have been watching me for a long time, you've seen many a pinch bail.
Pinch end.
Oh, sorry, a pin. Yes, it's a pinch end. Thank you. And I'm going to open this up with my chain nose pliers so that you can see what it looks like inside. Plus, we would have to open it anyway. So it's like these 4 little petals, and I'm opening the little flower. And so when you open all 4 petals, just take a look. There are these little bumps or prongs on the inside. And that is what helps your pinch end grab onto your leather. So we will be using that in just a little bit. But in the meantime, before I wrap my very end loop, I will connect the pinch end right here. And now I'm going to finish the coiling. You know, I misspoke because we just got like a whole schmillion of pinch bales in, and everybody has been talking about pinch bales. So if you get our emails, you will probably see those pinch bales in the most recent email. But this is a pinch and. So this is what it looks like. Now it's all connected, and I have one of these on the other end, although I didn't open this one, so maybe we'll do that right now. So you want to open all of the little petals because this will be rather a tight fit, which is exactly what we want. We like a tight fit when it comes to finishing leather. So we have our 2 open little flowers. Okay, guys. So now we will set our tassels aside, but you know what, actually, before I set them aside, I would like to give you a measurement, because even if you didn't think of it as of right now, you'll probably think of it later. So this is about 7.5 inches as opposed to 6.5 inches. So it doesn't mean that if you get silver, this is what it's going to be. If you get copper, this is what it's going to be. You can do it your way. You can make these segments shorter. You can probably make them slightly longer. We always give you a little bit of extra chain. Okay, so now we're going to go on to a whole different part of our lariat. And that part is the leather. So I have, look at all of this leather right here. This is a lot. And I'm just pointing out, this is a long piece of leather. It's 7 feet. So the very first thing we're going to do, or maybe I already did it. Yes, I did. So I cut it in half. So we're going to cut it in half, and then we are going to fold. So first of all, I am holding the 2 lengths of leather side by side, matching up the ends, and now I'm going to fold it in half again just to find the center. Okay, so this is very easy, just to find the center. So I'm going to hold on to where my center is just while we're chatting. So this is the lariat, and so this part of the leather is going to be around the back of your neck. And there are different ways to do this. In fact, I am going to use slightly different measurements for the necklace we're making today. So, so I'm probably going to make this segment just a little shorter so that I can space things out slightly differently. And at the end of the necklace, when I model the necklace, the lariat, sorry, at the end of the project, when I model the lariat, I am going to point out what different spacing will do for us as far as how we can wear our piece. Okay, so having said all that, on my original necklace, the length between the 2 knots is 9 inches. And so again, that is the piece that's going to be around the back of your neck. If we want a little bit less around the back of our neck, we are simply going to maybe just go, I'm just going to say 3 inches. I'll go 3 inches from the center. And so that's going to give me 6 inches as opposed to 9 inches around the back of my neck. Maybe I'll even go a little shorter now that I think of it, because I really want to experiment with the spacing. Okay, so I'm just tying a knot, and now I'm going to go, I think I've decided to go 5 inches from that knot. Okay, so this is our center, and we'll go about 5 inches to the other side of the center, right? So this segment is the center of our lariat. Okay, and it does not have to be exact in any way. This is not an exact science. This is just fun. Okay, so this is what, like, okay, it ended up being 5.5 inches. So initially I was thinking 6, and I was going to go 5. So 5.5 is a good compromise.
Trudy is wondering what size leather you are using.
Thank you so much for asking. It is it is 1.5 millimeter leather. Okay, ladies, so now that we tied our 2 knots, we can start adding beads. So this is the pattern of our beads. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And we're going to be using mookaite for this version of the necklace. And of course, for the copper version, I used rhodonite. So we're using mookaite and these silver color rings, and the copper rings on the copper version of the necklace uses the copper rings. They're exactly the same. They're actually not soldered rings, or actually no, maybe they are. Yes, they are soldered rings. I thought they were cast, but I think maybe we have cast rings for the copper and soldered rings. Well, either way, the look is going to be exactly the same. So it's a very, very simple pattern, guys. So it is, you string a bead onto the leather, and then you string 2 jump rings over both ends of the leather. So the first bead goes just onto one end of the leather, then you string the 2 rings over both. So now I'm getting ready to string another bead, and I'm going to string it onto the opposite side of the leather. Very, very simple. And again, we're going to string 2 soldered jump rings onto both sides. Okay, so we see a little bit of a pattern emerging, and it just looks like kind of a subtle zigzag. So you always keep track which strand you string onto for last, and you always go to the opposite one next. And we're just going to continue this pattern until we have 5 beads. So we'll have 5 beads, and obviously we will have 4 sets of 2 jump rings in between. And as I string, I try to add contrasting beads, just, you know, because it's more fun, it's more interesting. And of course, with the rhodonite, there's not quite as much contrast because rhodonite is not as colorful as mookaite, but still, I try to vary the beads as much as I can. All right, so this is going to be our last set of jump rings for this side, and we are going to add 1 more bead, and it looks like it goes on this side because that side does not have a bead. And once you have your 5 beads, we're just going to tie another knot. So I try to tie a knot fairly close to the last bead. Obviously, the more space you have in between, the more movement there's going to be. So you decide if you want a little movement or if you want all of the beads bunched up.
Lindsay says, I have used a similar technique to make some simple leather and bead bracelets. So this is an easy design to transition to a lovely bracelet.
Absolutely. It's Lynn, right?
Yeah, Lynn.
So Lynn, you know what? It's so funny because I was actually thinking this would make such a fun bracelet. And I think at some point I might just make a bracelet like this. Okay, guys. So next we're going to have a segment with no beads at all. But in the spirit of changing things a little bit, I'm also going to shorten this segment. So on my copper version of the necklace, the length between the 2 segments of beads is about 4 inches. I'm going to make it shorter. I'm going to make it about 3 inches or so, maybe even slightly shorter. Okay, so, and yes, we could do this in a very exact way, but why? So I just have a loose knot, and if I wanted to be exact, I could just kind of move my knot and measure as I go, but you know what, we'll just commit. And it's just, yeah, it's pretty close to 3 inches. It's about 2 3/4. Okay, so I have a little bare segment. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing where I string my beads and my jump rings in the same way. So this time I'm going to have a pattern of 7 beads. And why 5? Why 7? You know what? Just because. There's really no reason. It's just what seemed right at the time. And a lot of design just seems to be that way, where it's just whatever you're doing at the time, if it seems right, you just do it. So I'm going to continue to add my beads and my jump rings in pairs until I have 7 beads and 6 pair of jump rings in between. So while I'm stringing, I'm also going to remind you that not this coming weekend, but next weekend, we are going to be in Madison. And if you are in Madison or close to Madison, Wisconsin, and you would like to come up and see us, we will have a great time. We are, you know, since this is our very first event of its kind, we are just trying to make it as fun as possible. We'll have door prizes, we'll have goodie bags, we'll have make and takes. So it will be a good time. So come and enjoy. And I know that some of you are too far to come, so I'm sorry. Unless you want to fly out, of course. We would love to see you. Okay, so I have my 5 sets already, and I'm just going to add a couple more. You know, I love Mookite. The reason I love Mookite is because it has so much color. It has so many different variations. Hardly ever are 2 beads exactly alike. I just love that stone. Okay, so we have 6, and now we will add 1 more. and yeah, maybe one of the red ones. Okay, so once you have your pattern of 7 beads and 6 sets of rings, we are again going to tie another knot. And you know what? Actually, as I'm doing this, I was thinking, do I need to do the other side or can we just skip it? And then I realized that in order to actually demo the different ways to wear it and how it fits a little bit differently, I have to do the other side. So I hope you guys have time. So this is going to be a little bit redundant, but now I'm just going to match this side. So as I mentioned, this piece, even though it seems like, well, what's the difference, right? What's the difference if you make it a slightly different spacing? Well, it's actually going to be a big difference. It's going to be the difference between being able to wear it just one way or being able to wear it multiple ways. So that is something that I would very much like to demonstrate. So bear with me as I finish the other side, and then we will all get to decide which way we like better. Okay, and if you guys can guess where I'm going with this, please let me know. Can you guys, over the years, I've done lots of lariats, so you might actually know the answer to this. So if you do, let me know. We'll play a game, you know. I love games. I love to make people guess various things. Okay, so just working on the same little pattern, although, you know, I don't like these 2 beads together. Okay, so the other event we're having in 2 weeks, or is it 3 weeks? So 2 weeks from this weekend is the girls' night out. And yes, it is full. We have actually signed up as many people as we can, but we have started a waiting list. So if you're interested in being on the waiting list, you can always contact us and we'll put you on the waiting list. So that's all of our events. I'm just trying to think if I forgot anything. Okay, so this is our last bead in the pattern, and this one is kind of purpley. Can you guys see? It's so pretty. I just love these Mukai beads. So, you know, the other thing I was going to do, and I didn't get to do this morning, I guess I just ran out of time. I was going to grab some leaves, just some beautiful maple leaves to show you the inspiration, but you know, you guys all know what a maple leaf looks like. Okay, so we have just matched this little pattern, and oh yes, I do have one more little announcement, and again, it's mostly for the local ladies and gentlemen who are close enough to the store. Our December class schedule is coming out this afternoon, so that's exciting. We have some really, really fun classes on the schedule, and I'm about to start the next segment of my pattern. So again, I will grab a few more of the jump rings and we will start stringing. So, you know, with the popularity of the stacking bracelets, or like multiple bracelets on your wrist, and I really do like that trend a lot. I think it's very fun, it's very boho. I do think it would be so fun to make a little bracelet like this and just wear it with the rest of your arm parting. Okay, so we are on bead 3. So we have a few more to go, but I can't wait to show you. I guess no one is guessing. Are you guys guessing what the difference is going to be between the two? Oh, wait a minute. Did I goof this up? Yes, I did. Can you see? You can really see when you make a little mistake. But good thing we don't have a lot to backtrack. And I'm just going to take these off. Did you see what the mistake was? I happened to put 2 beads on the same side of leather, but it's easy enough to fix. So as you string, just pay attention to where you put the last bead and put the next bead on the opposite side, that's all. You know, it's such a simple little pattern, but it's making me very happy because I can really see the potential of using this pattern on so many different things. Especially since I have been making a lot of pieces, both necklaces and bracelets, out of leather. And this technique just lends itself to so many different things. All right, so now we have a couple of beads to go.
Peggy says, my guess is where the beads lay on the body.
Yes, it is. It's where the beads lay on the body, but then there's another small difference. Or maybe a big difference. I guess you get to see when we actually do it. You know, I like to build up the intrigue. Is it working, you guys? Is it working? I hope so. Okay, so we have, how many is this? 6. I can count. Okay, and our last bead. Ta-da! Okay, so looks good, matches the other side, and now we are just going to tie a knot. Okay, so now I am removing all my little jump rings because I no longer need them, and we are going to decide just how long this necklace is going to be. Well, because, you know, I kind of like the length of my original piece, I'm going to more or less base it on this. So as you can see, the beads meet the chain right about here. So I will say this is how long I want this to be. So this is going to be just maybe like an inch longer than the copper version. And so what I'm going to do next is hold just the one side where I want it, and I'm going to use a teeny little wire. This is a 28 gauge wire, and I'm going to bundle it nice and snug, meaning just wrap it, connecting the two pieces of leather. So as you can see, there's still a lot more leather that we could make this that much longer. So if you are tall and statuesque, you can most definitely make it quite a bit longer than I'm making mine. So right now I'm just twisting the ends of the wire just with my hands. And if you feel you need a little help, You could always do a little twisting with your flat nose pliers, but please do me a favor, do not over twist because you will break the wire.
Pammy J says, hi, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone. I just got home from the doctor's. I will watch the replay. The necklace is so creative, and sends a heart.
Thank you so much, Pammy J. I hope everything went well at the doctor's. All right, guys. So now we are going to tuck in the little end of our wire. And can you guys see? I have so I trimmed my leather and I trimmed the wire end as well. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of press it this way to make it a little bit less wide. And you probably guessed it, I'm going to insert this right into the pinch end. So this will go right here, right in the pinch end. But wait, first we're going to add a little bit of glue. So we are going to make this so permanent that it will never come off. Because first of all, we have the glue. Secondly, we have the wire that's holding the two pieces of leather. Thirdly, we have the prongs that are going to grab onto the leather just above the wire. And so this is going to hold really, really well. I am using the super new glue. You can put it you can put a little bit of it right on the leather end, or sometimes I put it right inside the prong setting. And so just put it in as snug as you can. And now I will use my flat nose pliers to close the little flower. So literally it just looks like a little flower bud. No one will ever know there's all that going on inside of it. This is what it looks like. And this glue dries almost instantly. I'm just removing some of the beads that I no longer need. So the glue dries almost instantly. So yes, we will be able to model it and see how we like the different look. So so now I'm going to do the same thing with the other end of the leather. I am measuring it against my end that I already finished. And again, I'm just going to use my wire to very snugly bundle the two lengths of the leather and twist the wire nice and snug. Again, if you need a little help, you just use your flat nose pliers like that. Don't over twist, and cut off the excess both in the leather and in the wire. And now we flatten the wire end against the leather. We flatten the leather, not so much flatten as make it a little bit less wide with our flat nose pliers. And now we should have an open end. Remember how we opened it earlier? So, you know, some people are comfortable putting the glue right at the end of the leather. If you're not comfortable with that, because sometimes you can over glue, sometimes this is what I do. If you're concerned about over gluing, instead of putting the glue right on the leather, I'll put it on a piece of scrap leather, and then I will use that little piece of scrap leather as an applicator and put it right inside my component. And then I will do the same thing, the same set of steps. So you insert your end inside the little tulip, And we're just going to close all the petals on the tulip. And of course, always remember to close your glue, which actually Tony just did for me. That was very nice. Okay, and we are done. So what do you think? This is what it looks like. It's long, it's kind of hard to show the whole thing at once, but I will try it on, and you will see what the whole necklace looks like. Actually, I will take mine off just so you can see it. And hi guys! Okay, so this is Lariat number 1. This is the one with the rhodonite, and of course this is the copper one. Okay, so this is how it fits. So very simple. Lariats are meant to be very simple to wear, very casual, and we're just going to tie a loose knot like this.
Connie says very pretty.
Thank you so much, Connie. So what do you think? Can you see the whole thing? Yeah? Okay, great. So, ta-da! All right, so this is it. This is how you wear it. Now, if you had made it a little bit longer, you would be able to also, and it's a bit tangled because of course I was not paying attention.
Fonda says so pretty. I ordered my kit already this morning.
Thank you so much, Fonda. And by the way, if you like the second version of it, the one with the silver findings, we will list it sometime this afternoon.
Lonnie says goes great with the jacket.
Oh, thank you so much, Lonnie. So this is like my fall jacket. Okay, so you could probably, although I'm not actually sure if I made it long enough, but you could, should I wait, I should probably take off my other necklace.
Lindsay was hoping to see your other necklaces too at some point.
Absolutely, I'd love to show them. So I could probably also do something like this without choking myself. And I could leave the ends open. Does it look good with open ends? I actually have not looked. Yeah?
Kimsey says love them both. That one looks great on you.
Well, thank you so much. So you could do open ends or you could do a loose knot. But wait, there's more. Okay, so as I mentioned, we made the new version a little differently. And this is just, to be perfectly honest, I kind of wish that I would have made the copper one the way we made the silver one today. So we spaced our beads just a little differently. So let's see if that makes a difference. So now, not only can I tie the knot right here, and you guys can play with the spacing. I don't know if this is too choky? Yeah, Tony's saying, yeah, maybe it's a little bit too choky. But what it does is it actually gives us an opportunity to tie the knot in a couple of different spots. Ta-da! So that's where I was going with this. So if you make your ands like this one, can you guys see? So I made the ands right below the beads, and I didn't give it any more space with just leather, with no beads. I kind of lost out on an opportunity to tie it in a different spot. But if you play around with it, and maybe I should have left, as opposed to like 5.5 inches, I could have done 6 or 7 inches in between around the back of my neck. So as far as comfort, 5 inches is plenty. But if you want to be able to tie it in both spots, you know, and vary it, you might want to leave a little bit more space, maybe like an extra inch or 2. Okay, so now you know. So what do you think? Which spacing do you like better? You decide, let me know. But also for yourself, especially if you're ordering the kit, you decide how you want it, because it's not like for the copper one we're married to this spacing and for the silver one we're married to this one. We can do whatever we want, right? It's our necklace. We make it how we like it. All right, so what do you think? That's about it. Oh, and of course you could tie it the other way, where it's a little bit more of a shorter version. So let's see if we like it this way. And of course, you guys, my disclaimer is I don't have a mirror, so you are my mirror. So you tell me if this is good or bad. Ta-da! Is this fun? So if you want to wear it in a shorter way, and believe me, this is going nowhere. It's not going to fall off. It's not like a scarf, because the weight of the beads really holds it in place. Okay, so unless you have questions, I think we are all done. So let me just do a little oh, that's right. I was going to show you the, what was I going to show you? Lots of things. I'm going to show you lots of things. A preview, and you asked me to show you my necklaces, so I will. So this is a newer necklace that I just made. I taught this class a few weeks ago, and this is a version of a piece that I've been doing for many years. It's actually, if you guys have my books, it's right out of one of my wire work books, and it's two-sided.
Heidi says beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Heidi. I want to say it's called like Thailand Echoes, and every time I do this, I use a different stone, and you can do this with any elongated stone in any shape, literally. And so there's one of my necklaces, and this is the other one. And of course, most of my necklaces are mix and match so that I can wear them long or short. Everything is like Legos. I can take them apart, I can remix them. So this one could definitely be worn shorter if I clipped a different component to it. So this is how it all works. So now I'm going to show you what's coming up. And so like Tony pointed out, one of the snowman earrings, I don't know where the snowman went, but maybe he's on vacation. So this is going to be our Thursday video, and this is obviously holiday earrings.
Rita says beautiful.
Thank you so much, Rita. So this is the festive holiday earrings for next Thursday, November 10th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on my page. And then we're going to be making bejeweled stacker bracelets. I'm so excited about these. These are very me. It's like the kind of jewelry that I wear, and this mixes really well with all of my other bracelets. So these are bejeweled stacker bracelets on Friday, November 11th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time on the Eclectica page. And this is what we made last night, just in case if you didn't see it. And of course, this is what we made today. And I will, the one that I'm wearing, I am hesitant to take it off because I'm rather enjoying it. But I will take it off so that you can see it and decide on your favorites. Okay, guys. So I believe this is all of it. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your awesome comments. And of course, as always, have a wonderful and creative weekend. I will see you next week.